All right, welcome to episode 9 of Adventures in Inbetweening. Today's more complicated one, we're going to be looking at cycles. So you can see I'm starting here, but let's actually go back for a minute and let's talk about cycles in animation throughout history. Here's a few different examples from some 1940s cartoons. This is Senor Droopy, 1949, an 8-drawing cycle. You can see drawings 1 and 9 are the same drawing. Pretty simple. Droopy's just running and jumping rope with the bull's tail there. This is a 10 drawing cycle, a little more complicated. You see I'm flipping between drawings 1 and 11 there. They're exactly the same except for the background. So what's happening is the cycle's just happening in place while the background's panning past. And the only difference between drawings 11 and 10 and 11, or 10 and 1, is that tail coming down. It's very subtle. But you can see that what matches up smoothly. That's the whole idea of a cycle. You're not supposed to be able to see where the cycle begins and ends. Here again, now we've got a 12 drawing cycle with Hound Hunters. Exactly the same position for the character. It's just the background that's moving. The character is walking along, 1 foot down, the next foot down, getting that leg up. That's the extreme of the cycle. The other leg is getting ready to push off there. That leg's all in silhouette. Some really nice drawings there. And then we're going to have the opposite drawing where the near foot touches down, and we've got those other feet dragging. Terrific stuff. You know, just really appealing, funny, and nice smooth cycle. Of course, you can get more complicated cycles as well. This one's an odd one. This I counted 29 different drawings in this one. That's an odd number. Usually we'd have maybe a 32 drawing cycle or even a 30. 29 is strange. I'm wondering if something happened maybe with a video converting, but yeah, it's a slow moving character, so of course the cycle needs to be much slower. Again, the beginning and the end is exactly the same drawing. The only thing changing is the background. So all those principles are what I'm using here to create this cycle. Now this is a very odd cycle. This isn't a regular run cycle. This is a cycle where I have a bunch of character heads that are all kind of mushed together in a surreal shape, and they're all going to be spinning across the screen. So this is only a 6 drawing cycle. It can go, you know, infinitely. That's the whole idea of a cycle, that it doesn't end. But this one here, I started out drawing the head and I thought, oh, you know, it'd be fun if I had the eyes bouncing, like bouncing balls. And yeah, you know, more like bouncing beans, actually, like jumping beans here. And as I started doing it, I thought, oh, should I just copy and paste one of them and move them over? But it takes longer. You can see that this is sped up 20 times. I mean, this was a, a labor of love, this cycle. It took a couple hours in all to draw. But it was much more satisfying, much more interesting for me to make it organic and to draw every piece of it. So there I've got the eyes going along, pretty happy with that. I'm going to start in between the nostrils now. You can see I'm stretching out the nostrils just so it's not just going, you know, chugging across the screen very metronomically and boring. I want to have some creativity in there. So I'm stretching out those nostrils, flipping, flipping, flipping. You can see that I've got the green drawing, the drawing I'm going into. The red drawing is the drawing that I came from. Now I'm starting to do the horns. And again, just, you know, if I'm going to have the horn moving, I might as well have it bending while it's moving along there. And flipping, flipping, flipping. I'm flipping while I've got the onion skin on here. There's just so much to keep track of. A lot of times I'll turn off the onion skinning and I'll just flip the drawing so I can see the before and after images and let them remain in my brain. But in this case, there was just too much. I got to have the onion skinning on. And now I'm doing the stomachs of the characters, starting to do the mouth and the teeth. If you actually go through frame by frame, I didn't count the teeth. I didn't say, well, this tooth is going here to here. I just made a shape and then I drew some teeth. And I'm trusting that the spaces between the teeth and the left to right motion is going to carry it. And for the most part, it does. It's not perfect, and it, of course, I could spend more time on it, but the point for me is the feeling that I get from it. And as long as it feels good, as long as it feels believable and engaging and interesting, then that's what I'm going for. That's the end result that I want. If it's something that was high end for a commercial project, I might spend a lot more time on the fidelity of it. But you could spend 3, 4, 5, 6 times as long on it, and it's going to be tighter. It's going to be more defensible in a way, art-wise, and you're going to be able to say, yeah, that's the best possible choice I could have made there. But when it comes to the feeling of it, it's going to feel pretty similar. One challenge I had was when the eyes go off to the end and when they come off the other side, go off on one side and come on the other side. Just trying to make it so that the eye doesn't pop off. I want to have it revealing on gently. Now here's where I'm coloring. I've sped this up 40 times now. This is like I say, this is a time-consuming process. So I've just sped it up. The coloring is the least creative decision, but the tones are still somewhat creative and interesting. You can see that I just go left to right for the most part and paint everything in. I'm not using a fill tool. I'm just using my brush, and I'm not too worried about lines or fills going past the lines. Get some shadows on the teeth there, some shadows underneath the teeth, shadows under the chins, shadows on the noses, under the nostrils. I got two different gradations, two different layers of tones there, darker green and a darker green again. Just two different variations on the yellows. Putting a little bit more on there, flipping. You see I didn't have my onion skin on when I'm flipping here because I just want to be able to, again, get that feeling of it. Yeah, that's all feeling very squishy and soft, and I like it. Down to 5 times speed now. Just letting myself go through it, looking for anything that's popping out that I'm not quite liking, that's not quite working. And this is it. This is the final cycle. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I like it. It's fun. It's interesting. That was Cycles. Thanks, everybody. Give a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you next time.